rug again. Got another one from you from the Charlotte Dobre subreddit. Am I the asshole for not wanting to postpone my wedding? Hello, all. Am I the asshole for telling my parents that I do not want to postpone my wedding for them? Now, for context, I, 27 female, am engaged to my fiance, 29. For this story, we will call him Jay. We have been engaged for 3 years, and I have known Jay for 13 years. We are deeply in love with each other, and Jay knows my parents are toxic. Jay has been very supportive with me choosing how to handle my relationship with my parents. I went no contact for a very long time. However, I have a therapist now that suggested I reach out to them. I was very hesitant about reaching out to them because I know my dad is a narcissist with a drinking problem, and my mom has accepted that's just how it is. However, I reached out to tell them about the good news. Or so I thought, ... A year ago, when first making contact, I told my parents that Jay and I reconnected after a while of being apart and had been together since 2020. My mom was super happy. My dad couldn't remember who Jay was, as to be expected. I then told them that Jay and I were both wanting to get married. Both of my parents seemed very excited and supportive of this. So we saved up and finally found a venue, a chapel, etc. Now, we first planned for October 31st, 2024 to be when we would have our wedding. However, my dad, being who he is, out of nowhere had literally faked medical issues so he and my mom couldn't make it. We postponed, which I think broke Jay's heart because he was over the moon to see me in a wedding dress. My parents promised to make it up by paying for a new venue and chapel for us, which I knew wasn't going to happen. However, I didn't have the heart to tell Jay my dad is a liar. But we waited patiently. Fast forward, it's now 2025, and there's no chapel or venue spoken of. My parents act like nothing happened or like they made this promise. I have spoken to them and have received nothing but gaslighting when bringing up the subject, even though Jay and I both remember the conversation between us all. So Jay and I have had talks about going to the local courthouse and getting married there. Times are hard and we don't want to wait forever for a promise that will never happen. We both agree a courthouse wedding is fine with both of us. For further context, Jay doesn't have any surviving relatives, so he asked me if I wanted to invite my parents or relatives when we go. I said, probably not. He asked, what about your parents? I said, chances are they will find a problem with the date or make some excuse to why they can't come. Jay was accepting of my response. However, my therapist wasn't. When I went in and explained everything, she told me that I needed to try and reconnect with them. I disagree. However, I am not the professional. So I reached out again as suggested and told my parents about the recent agreement Jay and I had had about the courthouse wedding. My dad lost it. He freaked out saying that his daughter deserved better, and my mom took his side. For even more context, my parents got married in a courthouse, so I was taken aback by this. I told them if it's good enough for you both, then why isn't it good enough for me if that's what I want? My dad starts screaming through the phone, I raised you to have higher standards than that, which genuinely made me laugh. I told them, don't you think being with the one I love the most is more important? To which both at the same time said, nope, having the day you want is most important. I re-explained that all I want is to share my love and my life with Jay. My parents hung up on me. I cried because what the fuck was the deal? Which Jay sat there with me and held me to calm me down. After a couple of weeks, my mom calls saying, well, we are out of state, as you know, and we don't think we would make it if you just go to the courthouse, and that's why your dad is upset. I said, okay, well, I didn't make you guys move out of state. Plus, you were supposed to make it last time when we had a real venue and a chapel, but you didn't then either. So why should I put my life on hold for you? Flat out. My mom responded with, because I'm your mother and I matter. Bitch, no, you don't. Not at this point. You made up fake excuses to miss your child's wedding. You made promises to make it up to them by getting a new venue, a new chapel, since they lost everything they put into the original one thanks to your husband faking medical issues. And now you're saying it's because your mother matters? She's not marrying you, Mama Bear. She's marrying Jay. Get over it, because you guys have been trying to implode this relationship by not being there, knowing how much it meant to your daughter. No, 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 no. Whoa, that was a lot coming from her, and how much I dealt with because she loved my dad. Nonetheless, I hung up after saying, you have until December 25th, 2025 to make a decision, or Jay and I will go down to the courthouse on his birthday and get married. Since then, my sister and all of my mom and dad's family have been messaging me saying I'm an asshole for not allowing them to be included. They disincluded themselves. They uninvited themselves. That's on them. That's not on you, hun. It's not. But there is an update. Next video, I'll go over the update. See you soon.